Every one of you here with us this morning. We trust that you had a restful evening and you're all geared up for today's event. We want to assure you that today's event is really going to be worth the while. So before we commence officially, we would like to take
this event. The President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubair Abubakar, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Academy of Engineering. Let's put our hands together for him. Can we please for him? Also here present at this event is the 34th President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the first female president in our society's 67-year history. Make welcome Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Let's put our hands together for her. Also, we recognize the President of the Nigerian Association of Technologists in Engineering, Engineering Tech, Dominic Uduatan, F. Nate. Let's put our hands together for him. Also, the Nigerian Association of Engineering Craftsmen, the President, Honorable Umar Usman Meikunkale, F. Naek. Let's put our hands together for him. Also here present at this event is the President of the Nigerian Association of Construction of Association of Consulting Engineers of Nigeria, Engineer Kamp Salem Alhaji Bukar, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
I'd like to also recognize in our midst one of our guest presenters from yesterday's event, who is none other than Senator Iola Omisore, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of the Academy of Engineering, CON, former Deputy Governor of Osun State, and former APC National Secretary. We're delighted to have you here with us today. Welcome. We'd like to also recognize in our midst this morning the Executive Secretary of the NBTE, Professor Idris M. Bugaje. We're delighted to have you here with us this morning. Welcome, sir. The ES of NBTE, Professor Idris M. Bugaje. Welcome, sir. We're delighted to have you with us this morning.
We have also here present past presidents of Coren. Here in our midst is Engineer Habu Ahmed Gumel, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Academy of Engineering, OON. He is also the President of the Nigerian Olympic Committee. You are welcome.
Also present in our midst this morning is a past president of Coren, who is none other than Engineer Kashim Abdul Ali. He's a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, a Fellow of the Academy of Engineering. He's a recipient of the National Productivity Order of Merit Award and a member of the National Institute. Please give him a round of applause. All right, we also want to welcome in our midst the chairman of the main organizing committee for the 33rd Engineering Assembly, who is none other than Engineer Ola Olu Ogunduile. Thank you, sir, for all the hard work you've put in to ensure that this event is successful. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Please give him a befitting applause. Welcome, sir. We also have in our midst some past registrars of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria who are here. We begin with recognizing the Registrar of the Council, who is none other than Engineer Professor Okorie Austin Uche. He's a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers. We welcome you, sir. We also have here present in our midst Engineer Segun Adedeji, a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Thank you for being here, sir. We welcome you. We have in our midst also Engineer Professor Olumide Ajose, a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Welcome, sir. We're delighted to have you. We have Engineer Felix Atume, a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a member of the National Institute. Welcome, sir. We're delighted to have you here with us. We also have in our midst Engineer W. Kamila Maliki, a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a member of the National Institute. We welcome you, sir. We also have here Engineer Professor Joseph Odigure, a past Registrar of Coren. We're delighted to have you. Welcome. And we have the immediate past Registrar of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria in our midst, Engineer Professor Adisa Ademola Bello, a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a Fellow of the Academy of Engineering.
Also here present at this event is Engineer Professor UG Dambata, FNSC, FA Eng. He is the former EVC of NCC and the Deputy President of the Nigerian Academy of Engineers. Let's put our hands together for him. Also here present at this event, we have Honorable Israel Ajibola Famurewa. Let's put our hands together for him. And we have our delegates from Tanzania High Commission who are here present at this event. That is delegation from Tanzania High Commission and Tanzania Building Agency. Let's put our hands together for Architect Victor Baltazar, Director of Consultancy. We have Architect Winselaus P. Kizaba, Director Construction. Let's put our hands. We have Engineer Khadija S. Abdallah, Manager Construction Session. Mr. Philbert Bako Kemu Peter, Minister Councillor. Mr. Mako Isilabi, Property Officer. This person is not here. Also, we have here the chairman of IBOM Power. Let us make welcome Engineer Etido Iyan, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So, ladies and gentlemen, all engineers here present, we welcome you. All council members of Coren, you are all welcome. Please wave your hands wherever you are. Council members, members of the main organizing committee, you are all welcome. Please, members of the main organizing committee, can you wave your hands? You have done a very wonderful job. Thank you. The rapporteurs and the head of the rapporteurs, Engineer Abdul Karim Nasir, FNSC, you are welcome. Engineer Professor Abdul Karim, FNSC, all technicians here present, craftsmen, the media, the band, the protocol, ladies and gentlemen. May we now request that we be upstanding as we begin this event with the national anthem. Can we have the media give us the national anthem? Together we recite the third stanza of the national anthem as our opening prayer. Together we pray, O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. As we commence the inauguration of the Task Force on Engineering Residency Program, it is my singular honor and privilege to welcome up for his opening remarks the chairman of the ERP Development Committee, Engineer Professor Abdul Karim Nasser, FNSC F9MEC-E, for his opening remarks. Please give him a round of applause.
The President and Chairman in Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubair Abubakar, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of the Academy of Engineering. Please permit me to stand on the well-laid protocol and recognition by the MCs. This is opening remark by the chairman of Engineering Residency Program, my humble self. It is with profound honor that I stand before you today as we inaugurate the task force on the Engineering Residency Program here at the 33rd Engineering Assembly. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective quest to strengthen the foundation and future of engineering practice in Nigeria. The Engineering Residency Program, a groundbreaking initiative, was developed by Coren as a strategic response to the long-standing issues in Nigeria's engineering education system, particularly the gap between academic instructions and industry demands. Previous initiatives, such as Supervised Industrial Training Scheme in Engineering (SITC), were hindered by challenges related to funding and implementation barriers. The ERP aims to resolve these problems by offering a well-structured one-year practical training program for engineering graduates from accredited Nigerian universities and polytechnics. This visionary initiative, apart from it being designed to bridge the gap between academic preparation and professional practice, it is also to systematically nurture competent, confident, and ethically grounded engineers who will drive national development. The ERP specifically aimed to enhance graduates' practical skills and work ethics, foster a culture of continuous learning and professional excellence, strengthen national development by preparing graduates for the workforce, encourage industry collaboration to align academic training with market demands, promote effective utilization of local engineering manpower. The training will span various disciplines, including design, manufacturing, and operations, complemented by modules in soft skills, ethics, and entrepreneurship. Participants will engage in case studies, hands-on exercises, and collaborative projects to develop a comprehensive understanding of their field. The significance of engineering residency program goes beyond the profession. It is a national imperative. Engineering is central to all aspects of development: infrastructure, energy, housing, transport, healthcare, and agriculture. Yet, if our engineers are not properly equipped with practical competencies, the nation will continue to outsource critical projects to foreign expertise, draining scarce resources and weakening local capacity. ERP will serve as a catalyst for reversing this trend by producing industry-ready Nigerian engineers who can drive indigenous development. ERP will also enhance employability of our young engineers, reduce prevalence of quackery, promote ethical standards, and deepen innovation across engineering value chain. It will also align Nigeria with global professional standards, improving the country's profile in international accords and mobility platforms, such as the Washington Accord. Ladies and gentlemen, as we inaugurate the task force today, I must emphasize that the success of the engineering residency program lies not only in the hands of the task force, but in the collective commitment of the entire engineering ecosystem. I call on engineering employers, private firms, government agencies, and multinationals to open their doors for ERP placements. I invite international development partners to support this reform as part of their investment in Nigerians' human capital. As we commence this historic journey today, let us be reminded that what we are building is not just a program, but a legacy that will produce generation of engineers whose competence will earn them respect, whose innovation will lead to national transformation, and whose practice will be guided by higher standards of professionalism. The ERP is a bridge to the future of engineering practice in Nigeria. Let us build it together, firmly, boldly, and with excellence. May this inauguration mark the dawn of a new era in the practice of engineering in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Can we give a round of applause once more for Engineer Professor Abdulkarim Nasir? Thank you for that insightful and impactful opening remark. Very quickly, to formally welcome us to this gathering, it is my singular honor and privilege to call on the indefatigable Registrar of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor O.A.U. Uche, a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers. I think he deserves a better round of applause. Thank you.
Mr. President, past president, our able and erudite past president of Coren, president of NSC, my president of Academy of Engineering is represented by the EVC of former EVC of NCC, and my senior colleague in Bayero University. All distinguished council members of Council for Regulation of Engineering, our invited guests, engineers, technologists, technicians, craftsmen, and other participants, more especially our international delegates from Tanzania. I want to say you are welcome to today's discussion. Today we are going to do this inauguration, but one thing I want to say in this welcome address is to tell you that the new Coren that we have is pursuing on having ecosystem of engineering regulation that is commensurable and competitive with international best practices. ERP is not new, so to say. It is the CCA arrangement that have been put a new gown. But this time around, we know why CCA did not come to be. It is all about funding. And with the caliber of people that we have had now, as a task force, we are believing that we will take this engineering resident program to another level. I am pleased to be the registrar welcoming you, and I want to say the Coren administration will support this task force to ensure that we reach the final position, to ensure that engineering is regulated for shared prosperity in this country. I want to welcome you all to today's gathering. Just feel free to discuss, guide us. All that we are bringing out is not final. We want to engage in a robust discussion about ERP and how best to ensure that it is funded. I'm happy also to acknowledge a distinguished senator in our midst, former senators, who will help us also to provide a format, regulatory format, and the law towards this program. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
Please, can we put our hands together once more for the Registrar of Coren, Engineer Professor OAU Uche. Please, let us take this announcement. I want to believe every one of us here are updated with our Coren fees, which means we all have our practicing licenses, the tool with which we practice. I have mine. Every 1st of January, I ensure that I pay my Coren fees and I have my practicing license, because it will not be fine when they check the Coren portal and your name and number is showing red. That is not good. So please, we have created a stand for you, so you don't have to complain that you are not able to access the portal to do and update your fees. Just go to the exhibition arena. Before you enter the exhibition hall, Coren is there waiting for you. If you can't find them, ask anybody around there. They will show you Coren stand. They are there for you today. Ensure you are updated and live here with your practicing license. I hope we all agree. If you agree, can you wave your hands? Wave your hands. Call your friends that are not here, that you are here to help them. Thank you very much. All right, now we go to the next item on the agenda for today. Now we shall be having the inauguration and speech by the President and Chairman of the occasion. Let us put our hands together as we welcome back on stage the President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubair Abubakar, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of the Academy of Engineering. Let's put our hands together for him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The dignitaries here are seated. NSC President, my President, past President of NSC, past President of Coren, past registrars of Coren here are seated, council members of Coren, the president of NATI, the president of NICET, the president of NAEC. our invitees, the chairman and the co-chair of the ERP, distinguished other members of ERP that have created the time to be here, and those of them that have sent apology that are outside the country, the participants of the 33rd Assembly, my distinguished engineers, technologists, technicians, craftsmen, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, good morning. It is gratifying and with delight that we are witnessing today. Today is a day that is going to mark, in our view, the repackaging of engineering profession, aligning with the global standard and benchmarking. The first two speakers have revealed to you what is ERP and what we expect to achieve. It is not something new that we are innovating. This ERP has been in existence for the last 35 years. In its former name, SITC, Supervised Industrial Training in Engineering, which aimed to do exactly what the chairman of the ERP, Professor Nasir, mentioned, so I will not bog you down with that. But we couldn't achieve the goal then, because in our view, and yesterday the Deputy Governor of Ogun State summarized those lapses. The engineering professionals are always focusing on technical issues. That's where our passion lies. Very few of us accept to become advocates. Very few of us accept to become politicians, to lobby, to go and ask for what is our right. In our own humble opinion, these and other things were what led to the setting aside of SITC, a noble concept that aligns with the international global standard. The engineering practitioners, as you know, globally, are supposed to be industrially compliant. Many of us here, I dare say, who graduated 40 years and above back in engineering programs, we were lobbied after graduation at convocation with different offers for different companies to go and work without going for any academy, because the industries then understand and underscore the competencies and skill and knowledge of the graduates of 40, 50 years back. Gradually, we lost that. Not because we don't have talent, but because the institutions that train us fail to rise up to the occasion of providing the enabling environment, especially the workshops, the laboratories, the hands-on, for us to be able to sustain that hands-on and skill and knowledge of the graduates. The industries thereafter begin to look elsewhere, because for them, it doesn't make economic sense to employ a graduate that cannot do anything for them. This is our reality currently. And the honors, whether we accept it or not, is on us to rise up to the occasion and change the narration accordingly. So SITC was repackaged into engineering residency program. Eminent minds were asked to look at what is the global benchmarking in this area and to repackage what we had 40 years ago, looking at the current realities, the global economy, the globalization of knowledge and skill, the globalized market of labor. How do we fit in? I'm happy to tell you that that committee did diligently, successfully, produce 5 different documents. We have an executive summary, we have what they call the operational manual, we have quite 4 of them. The Council of Regulation of Engineering, Coren, received those reports and endorsed them, because to us, they have met the standard that we set for ourselves. Subsequently, the imperative was very clear to us. We have to set up a task force that will champion, promote, and lobby for the implementation of this noble program. Both the public and the private sector have to key in. And we hinge this movement on 2 perspectives. The administration of Olusegun Obasanjo, General Olusegun Obasanjo, in 2004, repositioning engineering, where the PEC, under his watch, developed a white paper that was crystal clear that they want engineering to lead the development of this country. Very far-reaching white paper that repositioning engineering. Something, somehow, somewhere, made that white paper to get lost. And then the administration of Jonathan came back and resuscitated that white paper again at a PEC, at his own PEC, under his watch. Again, reiterated the position of how engineering should lead the development of Nigeria. These are well documented. They are there with the council and with quite a lot of members of this audience. So we were encouraged and inspired by those position papers, what they call the white papers of government. Distinguished members of the task force, I'm trying to give a very concise resume of what we are here to do. The composition of the task force was very carefully chosen. Carefully chosen. I will invite the MC to read the composition by inviting all members of the task force to line up so that we can inaugurate them. I am sure, without saying much, when you hear the list, you'll agree with me that we have an assembly of veterans who have paid their dues in this noble profession, who we believe have the capacity, what it takes to change the narration in this country this time around. And like the last 2 speakers mentioned, I believe when they sit down to develop the modality of how they are going to work, it's going to be an inclusive movement. They will invite memorandums from all walks of life so that we enrich how we are going to handle and tackle this very big national assignment. I saw the chairman of the task force going up. So let me take that advantage to make one statement. What we are about to do is not for engineering, in our view, only. I think one of the last two speakers said it's a national project we are having. Our biggest endowment as a nation is human capital. And what we are trying to do is to develop that human capital with skill, with competencies, with proficiencies, so that we will be able to have global mobility and compete. We have seen the history of the Asian tigers, India, China, Korea, and the likes. That is what they did. The so-called Japa syndrome. We will, or like what is happening, we will encourage it the more. Develop the skill and let them leave the country and go and compete as equals in the developed world. And they come back. We will encourage them to do the reverse engineering. And Nigeria will excel. Because that is our big endowment, that everybody who is a little scared about Nigeria is scared about our population. Develop that population, Nigeria will be a great nation. That's what we are doing, piloting through engineering profession. I believe if we succeed, other sub-areas, sub-sectors will emulate and will replicate it in all other sectors. And Nigeria will be great. I've seen the chairman coming back. So may I invite, okay, you are behind me. Let me ask the MCs to please rail out the members of this task force so that I can finish my assignment and then we allow the program to continue. I've seen my senior brother arriving while I was speaking. I have no doubt that he will be here. The Executive Secretary of MBTE, Professor Idris Bogaji. Sir, you are welcome. Sorry, Engineer Professor Idris Bogaji. Let me start with what is most important to us here. You are welcome, sir. Highly welcome. Thank you.
So I'd like to call on the members of the task force on engineering residency program, and I'll start. I'll start by inviting up to the floor the chairman of the task force, who is none other than Senator Engineer Iola. Senator Engineer Iola Omisore, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow of the Academy of Engineering, and Commander Order of the Niger.
May I invite the co-chairman to please come up stage. Engineer Habu Ahmed Gumel, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Academy of Engineering, OON.
Please can we make our applause better? Thank you. Next up, I'd like to call up to the floor Engineer Professor Babagana Mohammed, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. He's a member of the task force. Let's have you up here, sir. Next up, I'd like to call up to the fore Engineer Professor Abubakar Sani Sambo, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a fellow of the Academy of Engineering. He's a member. Engineer Professor Abubakar Sani Sambo, please.
Okay, we call on Engineer Yusuf Lanre Shagaya, FNSC, FA Eng, MFR, OFR.
He'll join us shortly.
Also, Engineer Etido Inyang, FNSC, member. His Royalty, Engineer Otis Anyeji, Knight of St. Gregory the Great, FA Eng, member. Senator Engineer Patrick C. Undubueze, FNSC, member, representing the Senate. Honorable Engineer Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi, FNSC, member, Federal House of Reps.
Engineer Wopa Kamila Maliki, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Academy of Engineering, and member of the National Institute. Please give him a round of applause. He's a member. Engineer Aramide Adeoye, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, member. Let's have you up here, please. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you. Engineer Mrs. Ramatu Abashi, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. She's a member. Please give her a round of applause. We also have the president of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering as a member. Do we have him here present? Okay, please join us upstage.
Represented by Vice President.
He's represented by the vice president. Let's have you up here of the academy. Okay.
Please, we call on the Deputy President of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, Engineer Professor UG Dambata, FNSC. Can you please come up for the Nigerian Academy of Engineering?
Okay, we also have the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, who is none other than Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And like Aria Fababalola calls her, she is
The woman of substantial substance.
Please give her a befitting round of applause.
Let us equally call on the president of the Nigerian Association of Technologists in Engineering. Please, you can come forward, sir. Nati. And also president of the Nigerian Association of Engineering Craftsmen, NAEC. Please come forward.
President of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, AKEN. Let's have the president up here. Thank you. The executive secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, he's here present with us. Professor Idris M. Bugaje, let's have you up here. Welcome. He's a member.
Representative of the Federal Ministry of Works, representative of the National Skills Council, NSC, representative of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN,
representative of the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, member, chairman of the Engineering Accreditation Committee, let's have you up here, and chairman of the Training and Certification Committee, let's have you up here. Thank you very much. I'll now call back the President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria to carry out the inauguration. To your time, sir.
Here now, you give them. Thank you very much, the MC. May I, for emphasis, inform the gaps. Engineer Shagaya, Larry Shagaya, is on his way. He has sent somebody that he will be here. He has a meeting already. Engineer, His Royalty, Engineer Otis Anyeji, is out of the country on health ground. He has sent he said he's likely going to join by virtually. Honorable Engineer Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi is a member of the House of Rep. He is chairing one of the key committees. He has sent his apology yesterday. He has to be in Daura and said he is coming back today. If he meets us, he will join. Senator Engineer Dr. Patrick Ndubuze, he also sent his apology. The rep of the Ministry of Works is also not around in the country. ITF man, as of yesterday, they confirmed their availability. The representative of the National Skill Council, chaired by Mr. Vice President. I know the Secretariat is under the office of the ESMBTE. We will request, sir, that you let us please have the nominee of the National Skill Council from Mr. Vice President. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the gaps. And I thought I should mention the gaps so that we have the total picture. I'm very sure, without doubt, that the team that we have carefully selected, all of them have indicated their consent to serve, to be able to ensure that we change the narration of engineering in not only our country, but in the continent. Nigeria is aspiring to be members in 3 international accords. The Washington Accord, which we have gone far, the Sydney Accord, and the Dublin Accord. And each of these accords, all of them are under the International Engineering Alliances. They have the MRAs, what we call the agreement that allows global mobility, that allows our talent to go outside and compete and serve in anywhere in their rightful capacity where Coren has registered them as engineers, as technologists, as technicians, and as craftsmen. I just discovered, look, chairman of EAC, Professor Bolu is not coming out, he's a little sick, but the deputy is here. You should come and represent your EAC, Engineer Professor Baba El Yakub. You should join the group because Professor Bolu yesterday he's not feeling well. He's in the hotel, he couldn't come. He called me this morning to apologize for that. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to congratulate our eminent senior colleagues, most of them, without missing words, most of them here, except few, are my seniors. Yes. Yes, most of them, they mentored me. So I can say proudly, we are very grateful for you to accept to serve in this capacity. We have high expectation on you, SARS and MAS. I believe we have suffered too much. We have suffered for long. We want you to please deploy your capacity, your connections, your personalities to make us once again proud. We are not different from other professionals. The legal have succeeded with the law schools. The medical have succeeded. The pharmaceutical have repackaged their program to what they call now doctor of pharmacy. And they have already also institutionalized and obtained the funding for the residency of pharmaceutical professionals. Even nursing and midwife are doing that. The ICANN and ANAN are doing that. Why is the engineering not doing that? I believe the charge we are giving them is not too much. It's for posterity. And I hope and I pray that God will give you the health, the endurance, the capacity, the sustainability to be able to make us proud once again as professionals of the noble cause of engineering. On this note, the Council of Coren has mandated me to inaugurate you as the task force for the engineering residency program. I pray that the Almighty will give you the strength, the wisdom, and the guidance to be able to deliver on this. Congratulations.
Mr.
No, what they are saying. Can look at it. You don't go now.
Just 1 minute. We are not lawyers here. Talking. 1 minute. Mr. President of Coren, our colleagues on the task force, on behalf of all of us, we thank the Coren for the confidence reposed on us, and we shall ensure, based on our pedigrees and our antecedents, to ensure that we deliver properly, even beyond expectations. Thank you.
While they take the pictures, may I take a few recognition? We have here present the president of the Association of Professional Women Engineers in Nigeria, Engineer Dr. Adebisi R. Osim, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You're welcome. Also, we have past president of NSC here present, Engineer Ademola Isaac Olorunfemi, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and Fellow of the Academy of Engineering. Also here present at this event is the immediate past president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and former Coren Council member, Engineer Tasiu Sahad Gidari Wudil, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, member of the National Institute. You are very, very much welcome, sir. We now take goodwill messages. Can you please put your hands together for them? Let us put our hands together for them. Put your hands together for them. It is not easy to take up such assignments, especially as task force. Some of you may not like them when they come to do their job, but I'm very sure you will enjoy it when everything commences and we begin to enjoy the benefits. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you very much. Goodwill messages. First on the list is the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Universities Commission, Professor Abdullahi Yusuf Ribadu, or their representatives. Okay, while they come up stage, may I now invite from the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, the Deputy President of Nigerian Academy of Engineering, Engineer Professor UG Dambata, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Fellow Academy of Engineering, the former EVC of NCC. Let's put our hands together for him as he comes up for his goodwill message.
The President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, first President of Coren here, President, the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the President of ECON, other, the registrar, the registrar of Coren, members of the task force on engineering residency program just inaugurated, fellow engineers, technologists, technicians, and craftsmen. I say this fellow because I am a craftsman too, and I'm also a technician. Thank you. And of course, an engineer. I went through craft school, Udel, to rise to become a professor in 2003. So thank you very much. I belong to all the 4 registers of Coren. I consider myself very, very lucky indeed. I stand before you to pass a message of goodwill from the President of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, who is unavoidably absent and has graciously requested me, being the Vice President of the Academy, to represent him at this groundbreaking event. So Mr. President said I should express his appreciation and sincere gratitude for the invitation that has been extended to him to come and deliver his goodwill message to you all who are gathered here today, and express regret that he is not able to do this in person, and therefore decided to ask me to delegate, for him. So whenever I said I, that is not Professor Yuji Dambata speaking. That is the President of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering speaking. And his message is to congratulate the leadership of Coren, especially the President of Coren, for this important initiative that we're marking here today, the inauguration of the engineering residency program. commended the foresight and vision of the President of Coren and hopes sincerely this ERF will be a success. All the hurdles that were there before in the path of CITSI would be overcome through important recommendations of the members of the task force that we have just inaugurated today. He has assured that the objectives of ERF aligns very well with the core objective of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, which is to enhance excellence in science, engineering, technology, and innovation, and therefore looks forward to collaborating with Coren so that the Academy can be able to provide expert advice in the area of frameworks, policy, and other issues that are pertinent to the realization of the noble objectives of ERF. And he finally concluded in his message of goodwill by congratulating members of the task force for this well-deserved national assignment, and hopes and prays, thank you, that they will bring to bear their wealth of experience in their different individual areas of specialization to ensure that this time around we indeed get it right. And he has faith in the quality and caliber of members of the task force that this time around this noble objective will see the light of day. So congratulations to all the members. Congratulations, to the engineering family, the closely knit engineering family of which I'm a proud member. And the President promises to serve diligently and to the best of his ability to deliver on the mandate that has been assigned to the members of the task force. On a personal note, I want to congratulate you as the Vice President of the Academy for the recognition accorded to you and for the faith we have put in you. Just like the President of Coren has said, there are no better group of eminent engineers that could do this job. And so the expectation from all of us is very, very high indeed, and you have to live up to that expectation, and I have no doubt in my mind that you'll do that. Thank you very much, and God bless all. Thank you.
Thank you for that uplifting goodwill message. Can we applaud him once again? Thank you very much. Next up for his goodwill message, we have the DG of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Segun Ajayi Kadir MNI. Is he here present, or do we have any representative from MAN? All right, next I would like to call on the Executive Secretary of the NBTE, Engineer Professor Idris M. Bugaje, for his goodwill message. Please give him a more resounding applause as he comes forward. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The President of Coren, the Chairman of the Task Force, please permit me to stand on the well-established protocols. Let me start by congratulating Coren for inaugurating this very important committee, a task force to oversee the program we are witnessing today being launched, the Engineering Residency Program. This is very commendable, and I must observe that Professor Ezed Abubakar has been transforming Coren since he came as president. We appreciate your efforts. But let me quickly mention 3 issues that we must address. Number 1, I have gone through the document. It was proposed to pay engineering and technologies a stipend of only 50,000 naira monthly. That to me looks too low. 50,000 naira means $30. $30 in a month is $1 per day. That is on the poverty line, the definition of abject poverty. So we need to increase that to the minimum wage. Minimum wage. Secondly, for us in the Tibet sector, after the national diploma, there is also a higher national diploma. In between, there is 1 year industrial training. At the MBT, we are now trying to review, will that 1 year be necessary? We shall be consulting Coren and other professional bodies to see if that 1 year is even necessary. Because even now, Sideways is poorly done, the IT is poorly delivered. So this may be a very more serious program for engineers to gain hands-on experience. So we are looking into that. Number 3, funding. There is already a proposal to convert the Industrial Training Fund into the National Skills Fund. At the last time of the National Council on Skills, this has been tabled, but a committee has been set up to harmonize because the Ministry of Trade and Industries are not ready to give up ITF. This new National Skills Fund should be able to fund this ERP, and it's doable. In fact, we may try to see how to increase the remittance to the National Skills Fund so that it can fully support this program. Finally, I would like to observe that sometimes as engineers, we should be critical. As good as this proposal is, the big question to ask is, where are the industries? Where are the industries in Nigeria? Yes, it's good we send our engineers to industries. Civil engineers will have a lot to work on because there are construction all over the country. If you talk of mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, electrical engineers, where are the industries? In the entire northern states, I don't think we have more than 5 functional industries. I was a lecturer in the University of Maiduguri, 2008 to 2011. Every time I leave my base in Kaduna to travel through Kano to Maiduguri, from the time I leave Kano up to Maiduguri, outskirts of Kano to Maiduguri, there were never any functional industry. That was 17 years ago. In 2009, when Boko Haram, surfaced itself in Maiduguri, I was not surprised. Because the entire zone, no industries, no employment for young people. This is the issue that we must address. Where are the industries? The only 2 states that have industries today in Nigeria are Lagos and Ogun states. Why is Lagos and Ogun State leading in industrialization? What are the other state governors doing? Somebody told me Lagos and Ogun have the largest chunk of electricity generation. 60% of what TCN transmits is consumed in Lagos. Man generates over 13,000 megawatts of power, captive power, and is consumed in Lagos. That's why the other states hardly get 1 watt per capita if you divide the population with the power. The national average is 22 watts per capita. one of the lowest in the world. 2 decades ago, I did the analysis. South Africa had 270 watts per capita. Egypt had 400 watts per capita. China and Europe have on the average 1,000 watts per capita. Nigeria's 22 watts per capita is dismally low. Nigeria cannot industrialize with this high energy poverty. I'm not blaming the federal government, I'm blaming the states. Electricity, like education, is on the concurrent list. States should generate electricity in their own domain, put it on a mini grid, supply industries. But before that one is done, we shall discuss this at the committee level. We should now utilize the available informal industries. At the moment, we have Panteka all over the country. Panteka is what they call in Tanzania, Jua Kali. The Jua Kalis are well organized in Tanzania. They have introduced standardization and a national certification of their skills. Jua Kali is a Swahili word. It means those who work under the hot sun. I was in Kenya and Uganda and briefly in Tanzania. Those who work under the hot sun, that's what we call Panteka here in Nigeria. We at the MBT are at the moment trying to introduce quality assurance and standardization of training in the different Pantekas. We are even setting up a sector skill council on the informal apprenticeship system operating in the different Pantekas. In the north, we call them Panteka. If you go to Aba, it's called the Araria Market. It's an informal industry. The Lagos Ikeja Computer Village is an informal setup. We are now introducing standardization. We are training the master craftspersons to become quality assurance assessors. So for now, we have to fall back on the informal industries, and they're all over the country. But in the long term, Coren must work towards improving the energy per capita in this country, because that's the only way Nigeria can industrialize. Mine is a goodwill message. Let me once again give the commitment of MBTE to the success of this program, and may God guide us all through, and may God bless you all. Thank you. Thank
you. A round of applause for the ES MBTE, Professor Idris M. Bugaji. Let's put our hands together for him once more. Thank you very much. Once again, you are reminded to update your Coren practice license at the exhibition hall. Just before the exhibition hall, you find them there. So ladies and gentlemen, we shall take the vote of thanks and then continue immediately to the workshop on EcoPace Report 2025. EcoPace is Engineering, Consultancy, and Project Management Services Agreement, Charges and Conditions of Engagement. So I'm very sure you know it's a very important session. Thank you. May I now invite for the vote of thanks the Vice Chairman of the Engineering Accreditation Committee, Engineer Professor Baba El Yakub, FNSC. Let's put our hands together for him as he comes up for the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, distinguished engineers, and other participants, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank you very much for having time to attend this very important assembly, 33rd Coren Assembly. For other participants, our special guests, our speakers, we thank you very much for the contribution and the insight you shared during this very important assembly. Importantly, today we inaugurated the engineering residency program. As we go back home, as we go back to our various destinations, we should be the ambassadors of Coren in ensuring that this very important initiative from Coren of engineering residency is actually implemented in the country. It's not only about ideas or initiative, it has to be eventually implemented. And there is a very important comment from the ES of MBTE. Where are the industries? Again, as we go back home, we should try as engineers to see how can we engage the society, the politicians, those who have money, because Nigeria imports a lot of products, which means we have the demand. Only the question is, where are the industries to domesticate all these demands in the country? So as we go back home, we should be ambassadors for Coren to actually implement and actualize all these ideas discussed today. Again, on behalf of the organizing committee and the president of Coren and the vice president and registrar, we thank you very much for having time to be here, and we wish you a safe journey back to your respective destinations. Thank you very much.
All right, can we please put our hands together for him? Put our hands together for him. Thank you very much. We recognize here also the president of the Cables Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the MD CEO of MyCom Cables, Mrs. Bukola Adubi. Let's put our hands together for her. You are welcome.
We're moving straight on to the workshop on engineering consultancy and project management services, agreement, charges, and condition of engagement. As I welcome up to the floor for his opening remark, the chairman of the session, who is also the president and chairman of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubair Abubakar, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and fellow of the Academy of Engineering. A round of applause for him as he comes up, please.
Once again, good afternoon. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I can see that we are overlapping. We apologize for skipping the last two items on the first inauguration program. We are commencing with the workshop on EcoPass. I'm happy that the MC has given us the full meaning of EcoPass. It's a very long acronym, and I believe when you read it all through, you see the meaning and you understand the value and the importance of that EcoPass. Yesterday, our mentor, our senior engineer, Senator Yola Omishore, presented a paper on scale of fees, remuneration, and compensation for engineering practitioners. And that paper generated a lot of discussions. I appeal to the audience yesterday to be patient to date, underscoring the value and the importance of that subject matter. We have designed a workshop today. And I'm happy Engineer Missionary is also here with us. Engineer Abugumel is here. And we also try to get value for presence. Professor Engineer Dambata is also here. He's also another veteran across the public and the private sector. Engineer Inkechi, my mentor, is also here, a veteran in the private sector. But I want to single out one person. Sorry, my seniors, I'm not exposing you, but it's a statement of fact. The person that initiated the development of EcoPass and developed the first version, 2014, and with the hindsight of what they saw, revised the 2014 and make it 2015, was the then Coren president. He was also NSC president. I appealed to him yesterday to please make sure that he's here. And I'm happy he's well seated. Because this is a subject matter that we need all hands on deck. I will also appeal to the MBE, the ESMBTE, so if you have the time, to please spare some time and stay for this workshop. We need your input. I know we have quite a lot of members of the captain of the industry here. Please, it's important that you stay. We have the last group I will identify. I'm happy that we have institutional memory here, seated. We have former registrar, my senior, Engineer Felix Atume, MNI. We have the next one that has succeeded him, Engineer Kamela Maliki, is also here seated. We have another former registrar, Engineer Professor Joseph Odigiri, he is also here seated. We have the immediate past registrar here also, Engineer Professor Adisa Ademola Bello is also here seated. And of course, we have the current registrar. Why I'm mentioning this is that we need to discuss this. It's very, very important. The bulldozer that we have assigned to do this job is Aken. They have diligently done the work. I'm sure they are here to give us the comparative analysis. My expectations as a person is I will expect you to tell us why was EcoPass 2015 had low adoption, low acceptability, even among ourselves. How do we change that? And when we are doing a new one, obviously the outcome of this workshop is to have a revised version of EcoPass. What do we need to do to change it? What are the pitfalls that we observe that we should avoid this time around to again have an EcoPass that is going to be acceptable by the industry, by all of us? My concluding statement in this opening remark is that we need to answer that silent question from our colleagues, our registrants. How do they benefit from their profession? How do we make sure that we have a unified coordinated, acceptable scale of fees for all cadres of engineering practitioners, irrespective of the services they deliver: consulting services, contracting services, vending services, maintenance services, study service, whatever. What kind of scale do we have? We want to have a fixated scale, we want to have a sliding scale, we want whatever. Open-ended, on the hourly basis, on the daily basis, on the weekly basis, on the monthly basis. These are all fundamental questions which I believe we are going to discuss. That's why I'm appealing to all of us, because this is the bottom line. We are service providers. I'm sure if you compare our flight with that of the medical doctors, with that of the legal practitioners, with that of the accounting practitioners, you will bend your head. So the fundamental question is, why are we not getting it right? Why are we not organized? Why are we not having... The whys are many. And when you look back, they say we are the best in the class. We are the talent in the class. Why are we not getting it after the class, after graduation? Why are we relegated? These are fundamental issues that we cannot shy away from. With this, I welcome all of you and request you to please participate actively in this workshop. I thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome the arrival of the President of the World Federation of Engineering Organization, Engineer Mustafa Balarabe Shehu, FNSE FA Eng. Let's put our hands together for him, President of Engineering Without Borders.
Next on the agenda, we're going to have a presentation on the EcoPace Report 2025 and an overview of the remuneration and fee structures for engineering services. Please join me in welcoming up to the fore Engineer Kam Salem Alhaji Bukar FNSE, the President of ACEN, to give us this presentation. Engineer Kam Salem, please. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Sorry, tell me if I'm wrong, if I say my chairman of session and the president of the, President Coren, has done half of the job I am supposed to do this morning. The chairman and the president of President Coren and other distinguished guests, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Mr. Chairman, permit me to ask if there are any of the committee and council members of ACEN with us so that they can join me. Is there any member of the EcoPass Study Committee of ACEN present here? Council member, Engineer Buga, you can join me on stage. Engineer Ibrahim Buga, MNST, council member for the Association of Consulting Engineering. Maybe some of us can stay back because we only have one seat. Only one seat. You can can be making intervention. Mr. Chairman, I also wish to start by making some observation and acknowledgement. I am just, by being the president, lead on this discourse and present what we have done as a group. But the real actors, the committee, I must acknowledge them. And I wish to say that virtually joining us is the guru himself who chaired this ECOPAS study committee, Engineer Yomi Lawson. He has done great sacrifice. Currently, he's in the US, and he told me at this time it's about 5:30 a.m. there, but because he's committed, I asked him to join us. At certain state of the presentation, if there is any need for intervention, he will going to, I will call him to garnish whatever submission I have made. So, Mr. Chairman, please note that. And then also, I would like to start by appreciating our President of Coren, for taxing AKEN. That was since 2021, on behalf of the engineering family, all engineering practitioners, to carry out these studies. And, actually the whole work started not only by this leadership, either in Coren or in AKEN, but rather by our predecessors. So for me personally, when I came in as the president, I took it personal because the study was on and it has been reoccurring in our meetings. And I then make the resolution that before I leave office, I make sure that we turn in our report to Coren. And I'm glad and I'm happy that we have done this. And the last council meeting, I appreciate the Coren council for approving adopting that report in the last council last week. Thank you very much, distinguished council members, led by the president. And also, before I proceed, I must also acknowledge the presentation that was carried out by distinguished Senator Engineer Omishore, because he gave us the evolution, because of evolution of all about engineering fee yesterday. And all of us have witnessed the enthusiasm and the interest of all of us here in this hall yesterday. So I'm happy that the work of today, my work for today, will going to be easy and then paved way by our senior colleague, engineer, distinguished engineer, Professor Dr. Omishore. So, now on this note, at least I can say that we are in unison and on the same page as engineering family on the importance of this issue of compensation. Perhaps the only area I would like to start with, so that we, in earnest, start to look at the slides, is the issue of, perhaps some may think that as engineering fee may only concern the consulting engineering. But I know as engineers, in one time or the other, we belong to, or in our area of practice, could either be in the R&D, research and development, could be in manufacturing, could be in the consulting, engineering, construction. Wherever we are for our practice, in one time or the other, as experts, will be called upon to provide some advisory, some services. So once we are talking of services, providing services, the issue of compensation must come in. So it's irrespective of whether as a consulting engineer or not. And eventually I know that all of us at the end of our maybe public service, we're still going to join the core consulting practice. But even before then, we'll still have the need to use this scale of fees, or rather the EcoPass. So it's important that we sit back and listen carefully so that we have interactive discussion and then add value to whatever that I can have come up with. Please, can you go to the slide first? The IT should, there is a slide before this. This is the EcoPass, but we need to follow the slide. Did you share with them? I've shared with you and Professor Nasir. There's a slide. So, and next, before the slide will come up, I will continue to talk. So, I tag the slide as toward a better remuneration engineering practitioners, for engineering practitioners, a path to fair compensation. In the introduction, I want us to look at the engineering services, scope and engagement. Then, role of the engineering practitioners typically serves as prime professional for the owner, may also act as sub-consultant in design and build, or design, build, and operate and maintain contract. Support public and private clients in design, build, and other models. So typical services, because it's important we have these preambles in our mind so that we will appreciate the approach to the EcoPass. It's part of our work that whenever we provide services in consultations, feasibility studies, and site investigation, we also provide environmental assessment, impact statement and reports, cost estimation and big documentation, preliminary and final design and specification. Furthermore, we do construction bid support and contract administration, material/equipment testing, and facility startup support. Operation and maintenance manual, we prepare that, do appraisal, do value engineering for that. Risk management and expert testimony, representation to regulatory agencies. Okay, so that's it. Go to slide 4. So engineering practice and professional conduct, specialization and multidisciplinary approach. Firms may specialize in all areas of engineering disciplines. Others are multidisciplinary teams, planners, economists, and what have you. Then service must be standard of practice. Service must be competent, ethical, and efficient. Consultants guide owners in making financial and technical commitment. Owners rely on consultants for scope, suitability, and budget advice. Consultants must resolve scope, budget gaps early and collaboratively. Responsible for decisions that influence final project costs. May also serve as program or O&M managers, that is operation and maintenance managers, employed contractors. So objectives of the report, that is the task that was given to ACEN, is to examine current state of the remuneration, highlight critical issues, recommend actionable strategies, advocate implementation of ECOFAS for equitable practice. Current state of the remuneration. ACEN 2025 study shows rates lower than other professions, low salaries and poor training condition, that is for our setups. Non-conducive work environment. If you are not getting more, how can you provide a good working or the desirable working environment? So ECOPAS 2014 and revised 2015 was designed to standardize fees. That was the candid reason for doing that. Let us look at this chart, comparative daily rates chart. This is the chart at the bottom, the black line. That was what was obtainable for engineers by 2010 against the other profession. Look at management in 2010. The toppest, that is in terms of the remuneration against the years of experience. Look at ICANN, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. That was all in 2010, as of 2010. Then ECOPAS 2015, as when it was proposed, it still lies below the other profession. From our study, we found out this to be the challenges with ECOPAS adoption. Perceived as expensive by clients. Perhaps, maybe there was no advocate or no advocacy, or lack of awareness, low competence in usage among engineers. The engineers themselves, many of them, even this morning as I was talking, some have not even seen a copy of the ECOPAS. Which was this document. This was the 2014 version, and it has been supposed to be in circulation in all Coren offices, both headquarters and the zonal offices, NSC offices, then ACEN offices. Poor awareness among stakeholders, inadequate training structures, lack of confidence to charge fair fees. That is by the engineering practitioners themselves. Let us look at firm income realities. Firm's average fee income for the 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022. This is the realities. 83% of firms earn less than 50 million annually from the study. And only 3% earn above 500 million. While shows the low income of engineering consulting firm over 3 years period. These are the recommendation overview. Roadmap to fair remuneration. We need to build capacity through continuous training, increase public and client awareness, introduce minimum fee threshold. That was what ECOPAS attempted to do. Expand ECOPAS with more flexible fee methods. That is to incorporate ECOPAS entirely, both 2014 and 2015, was based on the time basis, which is the one being practiced by World Bank and the African Development Bank, and it is the global best practice. So now, from the studies, we felt that the sliding scale, or possibly even the cost plus fees fee, and all other methods could be incorporated so that clients and other stakeholders could have flexibility of using as the case may be, depending on the nature of the project. This is one of the recommendations, but it will be for our discussions here. Retain current time rate due to inflation. That is, the amount that was proposed as of 2015 ordinarily or ideally should be reflecting the current reality in terms of inflation. But our report is suggesting that that same rate in terms of months, daily rate, weekly rate should be maintained, at least for a start. But you will going to see that we recommend 3 years review after 3 years review. Institutionalize 3-year periodic review, that is it. Use legally binding contract with dispute mechanism. Yes, in 2014, the forms, that is why it's ECOPAS, because it includes the forms of agreement and then condition of engagement. But in 2015, somehow, that got out of the document. That needs to be brought back in the subsequent edition of the ECOPAS. So let's deep dive into the recommendation further. Fee structured and time-based, build capacity through continuous, I've talked about that, public awareness, then training and competence, and then now, the most important of them all is the gazetting of the ECOPAS. We found out that ECOPAS, either 2014 or 2015, was never gazetted in the federal government gazette. But all other professions like accountant, management, legal, all of them, their fees are gazetted in the federal government gazette. Advocacy and public image, changing the narrative, highlights engineers' value in national development, drive client understanding of service work, ACAN, NSC, Coren, and even all the other professional associations to lead coordinated campaigns, engage government, academia, and media. Call to action, what must be done now? Empower engineers to charge fair value. At the end, you will see that all engineers, we have to bring back the clause in the 2014 version, which got missing in the 2015 version, that compliance to the ECOPAS is mandatory, so that a minimum fee will be there in order to have fairness and competitiveness among professionals. Institutionalize fair practice through ECOPAS, collaborate across government, firms, and professional bodies, prioritize sustainability of the profession. In conclusion, fair remuneration, which I believe should translate to better services plus professional sustainability. ECOPAS is a tool, but needs adoption, review, and enforcement. As highlighted earlier, all of us must join hand on deck to champion a renewed engineering economy. Before I finally, please go back. We need to, please, now you can go back to the first slide. That is to look at the ECOPAS 2014 and 2015. First 2014. This is 2015. Go to 2014. There's another document. Okay. Please go to 2015, perhaps. Cannot access that one. The only area I want to call our attention to is the very important line that got missing in the 2015 version. So I can read. This document, it was signed by our own former President, Engineer Abdul Kashim Ali, FNSC MNI. The last paragraph of that preface was that this document is hereby issued by Coren to all its registered engineering consulting firms, project management service providers, and other engineering personnel for use in discharging their duties to the general public. This is the point I want to make. Non-compliance with the provisions contained therein shall amount to a breach of engineering professional ethics and shall therefore attract appropriate sanction. And then permit me to also say that the registrar then was Engineer Kamila Maliki, FNSC MNI. They signed this document, but they are with us here. They will tell us why it has to be expunged with the version of 2015.